Oh no, my office is a mess. That's not so bad once I sit down. That's okay. All right. So last week, my friend texted me and was like, "Hey, I need recommendations on getting like a starter kit for filmmaking." She is a filmmaker and she mostly works like as an AD, but she doesn't really work like with the technical stuff. So I put together an email and I was like, here's the camera I would recommend and some other things. And then I was like, oh shoot, I just wrote a script for a YouTube video. So this is what I recommended. This is what I recommend. She wanted to put together a kit so she could do a documentary, do some interviews. So this is my recommended kit for getting started filmmakers for 2023. First up, for the camera, I recommend the Canon R7, especially with this 18-150 kit lens. This is just like a super versatile lens and a super versatile camera. I really like this camera because it's got 2 card slots, so you can do automatic backups. You record to both cards at the same time, and you walk away with 2 copies of the recording right out of the camera. Super nice. It's got C-Log 3 in 10-bit. It's got really great color. It's not the highest dynamic range, especially compared to my C70 here, but like in terms of for something that's under $2,000, like you really can't beat this. And I think this camera's about a year old. Canon's got it already on discount for like $100, $150 off this summer. It's a really great price. It's a really good camera. Unlimited recording, so great for interviews and long rolling times. And I'll play some footage that I shot with this R7 or C-Max R7s too. I've used them a lot. I really, really like these cameras. Sony just came out with the 6700 camera, and Nikon's got the Z50, and you can now get a Lumix GH5 for like under $1,000, but none of those have the Canon interface. I think that this user interface is the easiest thing. You just hit that Q button and you can change all your settings, your white balance. The menu is laid out in a really nice way. Got the star menu all set up, ready to go. As well, just for the things that I change all the time. 2022's bingo card did not have Canon coming out with the best bang for the buck camera, but I'm glad that they did. This is a great camera. There's diminishing returns as you get more expensive. Now, if you need to save even more money, if the R7's out of your budget, there is the R50 and the R10. They have the same interface. They just don't have Canon Log 3 and they don't have 2 card slots. They do have HDR PQ, which is still 10-bit color. And if you turn the HDR down to SDR, then you get a ton of like highlights headroom. So it's more work. It's one of those things like, do you want to spend the money up front so you don't have to work as hard in post? Or do you want to save money up front and just spend more time editing and color correcting, color grading? You got to pick your battles. I think it's worth the money if you can afford the R7 to get the R7, but the R50, the R10 are still going to be very good cameras. They have nearly the same sensor and dynamic range and everything. Now, if you could only get one other lens for this camera and you're on a budget and you're just getting started and you just spent, nearly $2,000 on a camera and a kit lens after tax, I would get just the nifty 50. The Canon RF 50mm lens is excellent if you just want to get started with some shallow depth of field. 50mm on an APS-C sensor is closer to like an 80, 85 mil, which is actually my favorite focal length. So putting a 50 on an APS-C camera is great. Again, if you're sitting down doing interviews or you're doing close-ups on a short film, this is a great place to start. These 2 things can get you a long ways in getting started. Like you could buy this camera and the kit lens and the nifty 50 and probably do a good like 3 or 4 years worth of work and people will be impressed. Okay, so for the tripod, the cheapest tripod that I own is actually the Sackler Ace. I've had this for almost 10 years. It's excellent. But this tripod starts at like $600. I get it. It's a great fluid head, but I haven't tried it, but I really want to try the small rig tripods. They have a tripod that's like $170 and it's a fluid head. It looks awesome. And then like Potato Jet just did a video about their new tripod that's like $400 or $500. And it's got a lot of things that like my Flowtech tripod has. That thing was like really expensive. So I think The small rig tripods might be the best entry-level tripods right now. I'll put a link in the description. For audio, I recommend, at least starting out with an on-camera little shotgun. I think the best bang for the buck is the Rode Go 2, Video Mic Go 2. Now, I really do like the NTG, the Video Mic NTG, because it's got the knob on the back for quick adjustments on levels, and it does the split full gain on the left channel and then like reduced by 20 dB gain on the right channel. That saved my butt a lot, but that one is also more than double this mic, and this mic sounds really good as long as you just make sure you leave enough headroom for loud sounds. Otherwise, I think this is a great starting mic. I did swap the cable for something a little bit more low profile on the camera side. I'll put the link down in the description, but the Rode Video Mic Go 2 is an awesome mic. And then, yeah, it's got the USB-C part. It doesn't have a battery. You don't have to use the USB-C, but if you want to use it as an audio interface for your computer for like Zoom calls and make them sound better, it also does that. It's excellent. It's great. This is the sound of the Rode Video Mic Go 2. Now, my friend is doing interviews, so I recommended Lowe's as well. Again, I'm going to recommend the Rodes. If you watch my video about the Anchor Work mic, the M680 or something, 650, I still liked the way the Rodes sounded over the Anchor Work mics. Now, the Anchor Work mics do have an advantage of that it's got the charging case. So I do also recommend the ZG Cine add-on charging case for the Rode Video mics. There is now a new model of this where you can put the mics in and charge, and it will stop charging when the mic is done charging. This first Gen 1 doesn't do that. It just like goes until this battery's out, and then it's not good for the battery in the Rode Wireless Go. Plus, it's got more room in there to take all the accessories, all the fuzzies and all the extra cables and stuff. They all fit in that case. So the new version of the ZG Cine charging case for the Rode Wireless Go 2s is awesome. But yeah, still the Rode Wireless Go 2s, I've had these for like 3 years now, and they've still worked really, really well for me. I've had the first gen, they were okay. They really upgraded them on the second gen, and they keep getting better with the firmware, with the Rode Central app, and now you don't even need the Rode Central app to pull the WAV files off, which is great. These have been awesome, and they've only gotten better. I don't know how much better they can still get, but you don't buy something with the promise of firmware. Buy it because it's good when you get it. And these were the kind of the first ones. There were 2 mics and 1 receiver, and now everybody's got that, but I still think the Rode ones are the best bang for the buck. This is the sound of the Rode Wireless Go 2 built-in microphone. For data, SD cards, I still like SanDisk cards the best. Now you can get UHS 2 cards. They aren't the cheapest ones. I would say probably like the next best brand is ProGrade. ProGrade is a company that spun off from some people who used to work at Lexar, I think. I don't think Lexar actually owns ProGrade. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've been happy with the ProGrade cards I got for the C70, but I still really enjoy SanDisk cards. That's just kind of like my default when I buy new cards. I think SanDisk. And then for lighting, I actually recommended something I just got. I think the best bang for the buck lighting-wise is the Aperture Amaran 100X and 200X. This is a 200X, but I recommend the 100X if you're on a budget. And getting a softbox, the Aperture one is great, but it's a little pricey. The Lowe one, that's what I actually have in here. Well, I guess I can show you on my phone. The Lowe softbox, that's the 3-footer, but there's also a 4-footer. I think this is really good, but also you can do, I'm gonna make a video about this, about using an umbrella with this light. Very, very excited. I'm gonna do a more detailed video about this because this is the new S version, and I want to compare, they said one of the reasons why they came out with this S version of this Amaran light, only like a year and a half after the original, was that they made the color quality even better. So I am very interested to see if, how different the original 200X, 100X is versus this S version, or version 2. But yeah, great light. Anyway, that's it. That's my recommended kit for a beginning filmmaker. I know This is still in the thousands of dollars. You don't have to buy all of this all at once. You can kind of piecemeal, borrow things from friends. If you have filmmaker friends, and I highly recommend that you do make friends with the local filmmakers in your area and say, hey, can I borrow your light for a project and I will work on your project next? You know, scratch each other's backs, help each other out, rent gear. You don't have to buy everything all at once. But this is what I recommend in 2023. If you're getting started, this is kind of the best stuff that isn't the most expensive stuff. Anyway, that's it. All the links are down in the description. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you want to see more videos, if you want to see my comparison of the 200X and the 200XS, hit subscribe. I'll be doing that soon, and I will see you next time. Peace.